So I recently heard from a very anxious home buyer. The day before her settlement, she tells me her settlement was being pushed back because of a common mistake many home buyers make. Hey there, I'm Mike Mortensen with Exit Metro Realty in Alexandria, Virginia. And you know, this story happens far too often. She, a prospective home buyer, went through all the preparations of getting their finances in order. You know, they checked their credit report, cleaned up any mistakes or issues, gathered all the needed documentation. Remember in an earlier video I said keep the number 2 in mind when you're gathering those documents the lender needs, because you'll need 2 of your most recent W-2 forms. You need 2 of your most recent pay stubs, 2 months of all your bank statements, 2 months of investment retirement account statements, and 2 years of tax returns. And after that, your lender should have a pretty good start on quickly providing you with a pre-approval for a loan that fits your finances. And this buyer did all that, secured a pre-approval for the amount they needed to make an offer on their first home. Now, in the 30 days leading up to the closing, often a lender needs additional information to process a loan application, and that is totally normal. But for the most part, all of the pieces of this housing puzzle were falling into place, so this buyer could get the keys to their new home on the scheduled day of closing. And then, as I just told you, the day before closing, final preparations are being made. The lender hits a snag that threatened to delay, maybe even cancel the settlement on the house. See, the buyer, feeling confident everything was a done deal, made a mortgage application mistake that, like I said, happens far too often. While preparing to move into this new home, they decided they should purchase a few pieces of furniture. Okay, well, rule number 1, try not to make any major purchases in the days leading up to your settlement, as it'll affect the amount of your cash reserves. And that bank needs to know you have your down payment and closing costs covered. Now add to that, when they were buying this new furniture, the store offered them a big discount if they opened a store credit card and charged that purchase on that card. That, my friends, is where the mortgage application wheels came to a screeching halt. Because now you have an additional line of credit, you have a balance owed on that new credit card, which very likely can change your credit score, as well as your income to debt ratio. I mean, in the best case scenario, the lender is going to have to review and get another underwriting approval, which takes time, can potentially push the settlement date back. In the worst case scenario, this new credit card purchase may just knock you right out of qualifying for a loan amount that you need to purchase that home. And that opens a whole new can of worms, because now you have to back out of the deal, potentially losing your earnest money, and opening yourself up to other legal action, you know, depending on what was agreed to in that sales contract. Now, luckily for this couple, the lender took quick action and jumped through a lot of hoops to actually get everything straightened out. And miraculously, they were actually able to make that original settlement date. And, you know, I'm happy to report they are now proud new homeowners. But that's the exception. Most scenarios like that, unfortunately, don't always end up quite so happily. So, you know, keep that in mind as you go out to buy your next or first home. And speaking of which, if you are looking to buy or sell, or you know someone who is, I would love to help make that happen for you, make it a smooth process as possible. Give me a call, drop me an email. My name again is Mike Mortensen. I'm with Exit Metro Realty here in Alexandria, Virginia. My direct number is 703-888-9947. Again, that's 703-888-9947. My email address is mikemortensenrealtor@gmail.com. And both the number and email address, along with my website, should be on this video or somewhere on this page. So I look forward to hearing from you soon. And until then, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.